Have you ever seen someone fumbling through an interview? Well, if you haven't, watch Gayle King asking Tyler Perry one of the hardest questions he's ever faced in his career.
But you've also, though, been criticized in some cases by your own people, by your fellow colleagues. Were you seeking in this moment validation, or that wasn't something either that you paid any attention to?
Tyler Perry is obviously one of the biggest film producers and directors of our generation, but his illustrious career hasn't been short of controversies, especially from a section of established black actors who believe the Madea creator portrays black people as weak.
Man, it's just like Tyler Perry, he paints a very negative portrayal of black men. We ain't that bad. Like, Jesus Christ.
One of the very respected actors who have allegedly called out Tyler Perry is the legendary award-winning actor Denzel Washington. Listening to him, it is easy to see why so many people respect the opinions of this man.
So I just keep pushing. Well, what an opportunity I have to prove them wrong.
Prove Perry wrong? Maybe. But thankfully, Denzel is not alone in this fight. His sentiments on Perry portraying black people as evil have also been voiced by legendary director Spike Lee and media guru Charlamagne the God, among others.
Tyler, we ain't that bad. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, he paints us out to be real negative, man.
Spike Lee has been more direct on his issues with Perry.
But I still think there a lot of stuff that's on today is coonery and buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money.
So, is it true that Tyler Perry profits from making black people villains in his movies, with light-skinned people turning out to be the saviors at the end of his plots? Let's find out more. Tyler Perry is no stranger to criticism, and rightly so. For one, filmmaker and culture provocateur Spike Lee famously held a grievance toward Perry, saying he reinforced racial stereotypes. Perry is also often accused of hating black women, selling out black women, and trafficking in tropes that mostly demean black women.
Thank you for letting me stay here.
Come here anytime you want, day or night. Long as you don't stay too long. You leaving right after graduation, right, baby?
Most of these complaints center on his Madea character, which Perry bombastically plays in drag, a combination he has said is inspired by his mother and favorite aunt to women who had a huge impact on him. Historically, black men in drag have been viewed by some people as problematic. In a world where there are claims that black men are often emasculated, dressing in drag comes across as a self-induced wound. Perhaps the practice wouldn't be as detrimental if there were better representation of black men in the movies and on TV. So that is what informs the feeling that Perry leaning so hard into the practice is detrimental and, at worst, a betrayal. Perry burst onto the scene in 2005 with Diary of a Mad Black Woman, a film that featured Kimberly Elise, Lisa Marcos, and Cicely Tyson. The movie was also an immediate clapback at the lack of representation in Hollywood stories that have long been a prevalent and ongoing issue. The formula used to produce Diary of a Mad Black Woman would become Perry's template. Utilize his Madea character as the marketing conduit to lure audiences to the multiplex, while letting the female characters, usually black, carry the actual narrative across the finish line. Copy and paste box office hit after box office hit. This template was a slam dunk for every movie featuring the Madea character. In his movies not featuring Madea, the formula of success was a bit more difficult but still successful. An example of this was Why Did I Get Married? And Why Did I Get Married Too? Neither film benefited from an appearance from the Madea character, but both were moderately profitable and featured a cavalcade of black women, including iconic pop star Janet Jackson. The film director reintroduced the world to the brilliance of legendary thespian Cicely Tyson, helped Angela Bassett get her groove back, provided refuge for Thandie Newton, pulled Keisha Knight Pulliam from the ashes of The Cosby Show, and gave Taraji P. Henson her first leading role. Perry also launched unknown black actresses to black household superstardom. R&B and neo-soul singer Jill Scott, gospel artist Tamela Mann, and Tasha Scott all instantly became black famous. Yes, Tyler has done some good as well, but at what cost? Critiques of Perry's work range from empowerment to disempowerment of women, the same points Denzel, Charlamagne, and Spike Lee have been addressing for years. Some reviewers find that the emphasis placed on issues impacting black women and the black community is realistic and empowering in that black women now have a voice, and the depictions could be an impetus for positive change for black women. Others view Tyler Perry's films as disempowering to black women in that they are often portrayed as needing a man and doomed to poverty, and through his portrayal of the Madea character, a supposedly strong black woman, patriarchy still prevails in his films. In the end, the stars have concluded that the stereotypical representations and imagery present in Tyler Perry films have the ability to continue negative assumptions about women of color in particular.
This was so selfish and so wrong.
Are you having an affair with the president? You know how she's living up there?
I don't care.
A while back, after facing massive back-to-back heat for his productions, the New Orleans native weathered a backlash for assembling an all-white starring cast for the TLC drama series Too Close to Home. But Perry rejected the criticism, much of it on social media. Some questioned his casting choices, with one calling the show an all-time low for the producer when the series aired in 2016. That's totally reverse racism because it was coming from African-American people, said Perry, speaking with the Associated Press in his office at Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta. I don't know if it was because they thought I should only be giving jobs to black people. Well, I think that's ridiculous. If you look at the hundreds of black people I've given jobs to, and even the ones I've made millionaires, people of color, I just think it's unfair.
Here in the middle of this success, while at the same time I have my hand and my feet still holding on to everything that I've had.
It appears Denzel's criticism of Perry is fully worth it. After all, he is considered one of the pioneer black actors in Hollywood. In 2019, the actor was honored by Hollywood for a pioneering career spanning 5 decades and 2 Oscars that opened the door for a generation of black movie stars, Perry included.
I'm up here to say thank you to God for giving me this ability, for blessing me, for shaping me, for chastising me, for teaching me, for punishing me.
Director and frequent collaborator Spike Lee presented the then 64-year-old with the American Film Institute Life Achievement Award, billed as the highest honor for a career in film, at a gala event at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles.
We're all here because we love Denzel. There's been several references tonight to the GOAT. That means the greatest of all time.
Hollywood's small elite of A-list black leading men paid tribute to Denzel's trailblazing career, with fellow Oscar winners Morgan Freeman, Jamie Foxx, and Mahershala Ali taking to the stage. Black Panther stars the late Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan did so too. You paved the way. You showed us the path. But what's truly monumental is that your influence, your reach, transcends race without ever denying it, said Ali. We are here because we stand on the shoulders of a giant. The late Boseman said, "There is no Black Panther without Denzel Washington," referring to Marvel's first film to focus on a black superhero.
I know personally that your generosity extends past what you have given on the stage and screen.
Hollywood has been heavily criticized for its diversity problem, notably in the #Oscars So White campaign surrounding the 2016 Academy Awards. And the likes of Perry are crucified for not doing enough to change that, despite having the platform to do that. Up until 2019, Denzel was one of only 4 black stars to win a Best Actor Oscar. He won a Best Supporting Actor Oscar for the American Civil War epic glory of 1989 and Best Actor for his bad cop character in the crime thriller Training Day of 2001. Back to Perry, Denzel's criticism of his work appears to be quite justified, especially looking at his catalog, starting with the movie Precious. In this movie, it is quite clear that Perry likes to ridicule black actors.
My name is Clarice Precious Jones. I want to be on the cover of a magazine. I wish I had a light-skinned boyfriend with real nice hair.
Precious wasn't simply a Striver's message movie. Perry recognized its propaganda value. Here is the plot. It is a story of an overweight black teenage girl who is repeatedly raped and impregnated by her father and molested and beaten by her mother. It comes from a 1990s identity politics novel by a poet named Sapphire. It piles on self-pity and recrimination, consistent with what black men and women don't enjoy watching. According to its critics, promoting this movie wasn't just a way for Perry to aggrandize himself. It helped convert his private agenda into heavily hyped social preoccupation. But Perry and his partner Oprah Winfrey weren't all that kept Precious from sinking into the ghetto of oblivion like such dull, bourgeois, black-themed movies. That's because the film's writer-director, Lee Daniels, works the salacious side of the black striver's street. Allegedly, Daniels knows how to turn a racist trick. As the producer of Monsters Ball, Daniels symbolized Halle Berry's ravishment as integration. Kevin Bacon titillated pedophilia in Daniels the Woodsman, and his directorial debut, Shadowboxer, hinted at interracial incest between stepmother and son Helen Mirren and Cuba Gooding Jr. The movie Precious received negative reviews from fans, with one commenting, "Okay all day, but how about how all women are stereotyped by the media? I know several girls and women who are being treated for eating disorders. Even though they are white, they cannot live up to the world's ideal woman. I don't mean to exclude men here. Not all men can be Brad Pitt. Again, it's not just hard for blacks. We all suffer due to our own society's ideals." The second commenter was more direct, writing, "I was surprised you didn't go into the director or casting director's interest in race. Why are all of the abusive, degenerate, and ignorant people dark, and all the people trying to help, love, and uplift Precious, either white or of mixed race? I think the movie exposes someone else's disturbed notions of race, not just the main character." Another of Perry's movies that has received harsh feedback is A Fall from Grace. According to critics, it's hard to write about Perry's 2020 film A Fall from Grace because it's not a film that's intended for thoughtful viewing. It's meant to be devoured uncritically and compulsively.
Today will be the day to change your life. Grace, please tell me what happened. What did he do?
According to fans, unlike other Perry films, A Fall from Grace is a full-on melodrama with no comic relief to give talented actors like Crystal Fox and Felicia Rashad room to breathe under the strain of a pedestrian and offensive screenplay. The film is, on one level, about elder abuse, and, on the other, about the apparent naivety of older women who are desperate to be loved, even when it all seems too good to be true. Perry fuses these two themes because victim blaming is an easy way to moralize the film's absurd sequence of events, which are all solved by a rookie public defender who, no kidding, detests people who have committed crimes. Concerned fans allege that what's mostly offensive about A Fall from Grace and Perry's oeuvre in general is how passive, gullible, and greedy he renders his black women characters and how he punishes them for the so-called sins they dare to commit. The internet went crazy, saying that even in his romantic comedies, Perry is obsessed with having black women tamp down their perceived arrogance. But in Perry's dramas, there is no Madea, hunky basketball scout, or kindly Latino laborer to hand down wisdom and watch the kids until the stubborn black lady comes to her senses enough to get married. Instead, the women must fall hard. Their desires, to be loved, have sex, and take risks, leave them incarcerated or with HIV. Perry claims that this is the kind of salt and sap his audiences love, that they want to see Bible verses translated into the most base and conservative interpersonal dramas starring all-black casts because these are the stories that ring true to them. Well, Denzel, Charlemagne, and a host of others seem to sharply disagree. The respected legendary actor, buoyed by his millions of fans, allegedly believes that Tyler Perry exploits stereotypes of black culture. His characters are caricatures of black people, an oversimplification of problems in black culture. They argue that he doesn't accurately represent it. Also, his films have a misogynistic streak. Critics allege that when Perry writes his scripts, he always finds a way to tear down black women for their human flaws, knock them down a peg. He doesn't just humble them, but humiliates them as if that's the only pathway to growth. From single mothers, women with affairs, and women who are struggling with poverty, he makes sure someone beats them, slaps them, shames them, throws them in prison, strips them of pride, or throws them out into the cold. Perry himself plays either a buffoonish caricature of an older black woman, in this case, Madea, and, as a contrast, the upstanding black man, which of course is a reflection of how he wants the audience to see him in real life. Both of these character types he plays serve to illuminate the supposed flaws of young women or preach to the young women about why she's failing in life. Madea, believe it or not, does not actually represent a black woman, according to his critics. She represents Perry's mouthpiece for his woman-shaming ideas. His patriarchal attitudes are just framed in a wig, dress, and fake bust. In a nutshell, according to those who support Denzel, the image that Perry has shown the public with movies such as Acrimony, Diary of a Mad Black Woman, For Colored Girls, and so many more have been extremely damaging to how the public views black women. The questions remain the same. Why is it that black women are always suffering in most of his movies? They are beaten, cheated on, and left to the side in his movies while everyone watches. According to critics, if Perry cared about enhancing black voices in the entertainment industry, he wouldn't be shining such a negative light on the women in his movies. It would be hard to find a few movies of his where a black woman isn't seen as any negative adjective associated with stereotypes against black women. Aside from Denzel, other celebrities have publicly called out Perry for his portrayal of black people, the latest being rapper JD. In June this year, the BET Awards took place in Los Angeles, and plenty of storylines emerged from the show. Later, DeLynch Mob rapper JD took his thoughts about the show to Instagram. He was pretty upset with both Tyler Perry and the show itself for how it ignored many of rap's West Coast pioneers. The show sought to pay tribute to hip-hop's 50th anniversary with a major group performance. Included in the performance were artists like E40, Warren G, Redman, and more. JD clearly wasn't happy with the lack of West Coast representation. F the BT Awards, you niggas still on that bullshit, so now we set tripping on BT out west. You banned from Los Angeles, California until I start seeing some West Coast rap veterans get the props we mother effing deserve, JD said on Instagram. He followed it up by calling out Tyler Perry directly. At Tyler Perry, you foul as F for that. No MC Ren, no Ice Cube, no Alonzo Williams, no one who paved the way out west 40 years ago. Another Hollywood giant who has blasted Perry in the past is Oscar winner and comedian Monique. For those that need a refresher, the actress went public with claims that she was blacklisted in Hollywood after butting heads with director Lee Daniels, a close associate of Perry. At the time, both publicly clashed over the validity of their accounts, with little resolve taking place thereafter.
With Steve Harvey, Tyler Perry is there. Tyler Perry calls me into his room. He has a staff of people.
During a past appearance on Turned Out with T.S. Madison, the 55-year-old actress and comedian was asked about her years-long claims about being blackballed. Monique previously called out Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, and Lee Daniels, alleging they tarnished her career after she declined to participate in the Precious Awards campaign. She explained to Madison that after a decade of drama, Perry eventually agreed to give her a call in an effort to bury the hatchet. Monique said it was at that time Perry expressed regret for how he treated her and confirmed he had every intention to publicly apologize. The actress said she recorded that conversation, and Madison claimed she had heard it. Monique is telling the truth, the host said. The actress went on to say that she had played the audio for people like Kevin Hart and the Reverend Al Sharpton, who allegedly asked Perry to contact her once again. She said Perry initially refused to do so, but eventually told one of her friends he would speak with her on two conditions. Her husband, who also happens to be her manager, could not be involved, and she had to apologize to him and Oprah over the blackball claims. Now that was recent, Monique said. So as I sit here with you and you say, wait a minute, I heard that man say he was wrong and was going to apologize. Well, that's turned into, I'll meet with you, not with your husband. And now you have to apologize to me. How does that happen? I'll tell you how. The comedian then looked directly into the camera and broke down Hollywood's history of targeting black women who aren't afraid to stand up for themselves. Oftentimes, when it comes to a black woman speaking up and speaking out, it goes unheard until she dies. Then once she dies, then we go back and say, well, she was right, and let's make a movie about it, she explained. See, I can give you their names. Eartha Kitt, I can give you their names. Hazel Scott, I can give you their names. Fannie Lou Hamer, I can give you their names. Hattie McDaniel. All of those women took a stand, and all of those women left here heartbroken, unhealthy, looking at a community saying, y'all know I'm right, but why won't anybody say anything? The beef between Monique and Perry stems from her refusal to promote Precious, which she has reiterated was not in her contract to do, a role that earned her the award for Best Supporting Actress at the 2009 Oscars. She told Madison she refused to campaign for a couple of reasons. First, she wasn't going to sacrifice family time for festivals and press junkets, and second, she wasn't contractually obligated to do so. She explained she agreed to star in the Lee-directed Precious for just $50,000 because it was a small, independent movie. However, after the project received rave reviews at the Sundance Film Festival, Perry and Oprah signed on as executive producers, which gave the movie a significant boost. The actress clarified the team behind Precious urged her to campaign for the film, but she made it clear she wouldn't do it for free, and that's how she and Tyler Perry fell out. So, yes, aside from portraying black actors as weak and evil, it appears Perry also works hard to ensure established acts don't get what they deserve, except for him and his friends. On Twitter, fans shared Denzel's opinion, with one tweeting, Tyler Perry supporting black actors and actresses doesn't take away from the way he portrays black women, with another adding, Tyler Perry puts on black actors, yeah, just to push trauma films. So, there you have it. Do you believe Perry's work has done more bad than good for black actors in Hollywood? Let us know in the comments section below. And that's it from us today. Until next time, thank you for watching.